What's up, everybody? Welcome to the week before the madness. This is one of my favorite times of the year. And yes, somebody got a haircut. My wrestling friends would know that phrase and know that segment. Uh, for all you non-wrestling fans, it's a la Rock versus Big Show, late 90s, early 2000s. When Big Show shaved his head. Yeah, it's the new style. It's summer. I gotta get it trimmed. Plus, I might be getting a phone call for an interview next week. Hopefully, cross the fingers. You guys have already heard me talk about it. Once again, I'd like to thank everybody watching or listening. I love the feedback. I am going to give everybody a heads up. I'm not going to be covering user questions tonight, listener user questions tonight, because it is the week before the madness. I will be, though, taking all questions, and I'll be doing a couple topics next week because I will not be talking about college basketball for bracket reasons and other reasons that friends that listen to this or watch this vlog already know. So yes, I won't be talking college hoops for probably the next couple of weeks. I will talk about the results when it happens, but I'm not going to dabble on who I think is going to win because of other bracket pool reasons. If that clears up any business and any confusion on why you're not talking about college basketball since the tournament's going. Well, there's reasons, and people know those reasons. All right, but next week, the questions I will cover is there was a weird interview with one of my favorite baseball players of all time, Ken Griffey Jr. on ESPN. I will tackle that next week. As well, next week, I will go in. It will be almost a big NFL loaded show with free agent going on, and I will be breaking down the winners and losers, team-wise and player-wise, on NFL free agency. There's been a lot of big moves so far, but like I said, I'm going to save that for next week because this is a very, very, very big episode. In my opinion, it's very near and dear to my heart. I love this time of the year. To me, I've told friends there's 2 sports Christmases a year for me. Christmas time in the fall with football starting, college football starting, basketball starting up quick, baseball dwindling into the playoffs, and then this time of the year with college basketball, the March Madness, NBA getting close to the playoffs, NHL getting close to the playoffs. I do, yes, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Chalone. He does watch hockey playoffs once in a great while, and we'll probably watch more if the Wings get in this year. Let's wait and see. And it's been up down roller coaster for the Wings. As I am a big fan of the Masters. I love Tiger Woods. I'm hoping he's healthy and be ready to go. And your wrestling fans already know WrestleMania. It's a big thing to me. I'm not so sure yet on this year's card, but we'll wait and see. I am part of the Yes movement. And if you guys don't understand the Yes movement, you guys need to do your homework. And it's been all over the college campuses the last month and a half at state, Western Michigan hockey games. And the Yes movement is all over the camp, is all over the nation, and is sweeping worldwide. And you can credit Daniel Bryan. I was going for the Daniel Bryan look, but like I said, profession comes first, interview-wise. Hopefully, like I said, cross my fingers. If anybody has any more questions or comments or likes and dislikes or want to bring up anything non-sports related, I am open to the masses. I will try to talk about anything. The only thing I will not talk about is politics and current news. I won't touch that with the 10-foot pole. Music, movies, I'll be more than willing to listen to get your guys' questions and comments on that. Alright, before I get into the madness, all you non-UFC fans, you skip these next couple of minutes. All you UFC fans say yay, because I'm going to tackle the biggest pay-per-view of the year so far. And once I saw this card, I've been salivating over it. I've been happy, I've been excited. I can't wait for Saturday night, because the welterweight division in the UFC, we're going to get answers. And I credit Dana White on this, because after the George St. Pierre controversy that happened in November, we didn't know what was going to happen. And then George St. Pierre dropped the belt, as I talked about a couple episodes ago. Just came out why he took a step back, which is great. Good for George St. Pierre. He's getting his life back to normal, but I think it depends on how his role is talked about in the Captain America movie that's coming out in 3 weeks. I'm stoked about that. Cannot wait to see it. Hopefully I will get to see it opening weekend, but it depends on where I'm at. Alright, the card. I'm going to talk about 3 or 4 of the fights. I'm going to start off with Jake Shields versus Hector Lombard. I like Lombard in the second, either on a TKO on strikes or a KO. Lombard, since moving to the 170 division, has been a man on a mission. That man is looking scary fast and scary good, and people better get ready, because he knocked out Marquardt and looked like he just got shook the up. I think Lombard does the same thing to Jake Shields. All depending on the co-main event, Lombard might be in the mix for a title shot, or he will face the loser of the co-main event for the next possible title fight. But I think if Lombard makes quick work of Jake Shields, Dana might be looking at Hector Lombard as a possible title fight contender, because he knocked out the former Strikeforce welterweight champion Nate Marquardt in less than a minute 50 seconds. That's impressive, ladies and gentlemen. I don't care who you are. Nate Marquardt has been a UFC veteran. He knows how to fight, and people were going, okay, who's this like Hector Lombard guy? You know, for diehard UFC fans that don't know who Hector Lombard is, he was in Strikeforce. Nobody heard of him until he came to UFC. And then you come out and you knock out UFC veteran Marquardt in less than 2 minutes? Look out, ladies and gentlemen. I think Lombard is going to be a very, very scary man in the welterweight division. And like I said, he puts work on Jake Shields. Jake Shields has not looked impressive in the last couple of fights. Jake Shields better come and bring it, because if he doesn't, ladies and gentlemen, Hector Lombard will bring it. The next fight is going to be at the lightweight division, and that's going to be Diego Sanchez versus Miles Jury. I'm not too known of Jury. I have not heard of a lot about him. From looking what I'm seeing right now, 3 decisions out of 2 decisions, a submission, and a knockout. And the only fighter I've seen on that I know of is Michael Johnson, who just won his last fight 2 weeks ago. I like Diego Sanchez. I'm a huge Diego Sanchez guy. He always brings it, and he always just brings a good fight. And I love Diego Sanchez. I'm taking Diego Sanchez either in a submission in the third, or Diego in a unanimous. I know I'm saying, James, you can't do that, but it's too close to call. I really, like I said, I don't know a whole lot about Miles Jury. I will be watching that fight and getting a little bit known better with Miles Jury. The co-main event for UFC 171 is going to be Carlos Condit versus Tyron Woodley. This fight, I've already said this card is going to be a bloodbath. There's going to be possibly busted up eyes, cut up eyebrows, busted up noses, cut up chins, cut up cheeks. I got a gut feeling it's going to be a bloodbath. And I like bloodbath UFC cards. They're very nice. Woodley, if people have not heard of Tyron Woodley, just go watch the dismantlement of the Josh Koscheck fight. He just straight cashed Koscheck. And this fight's going to be very, very interesting because Condit's a well-rounded fighter, and Woodley is very known for his wrestling. I think this might go to who can outpoint the other fighter. I think this is going to be a unanimous decision, Woodley. But Woodley's got some power, so look out. Woodley could also score a knockout in this fight as well. And the main event for the evening in American Aligns Center Arena in Dallas, Texas. Johnny Hendricks, who's from the area, wrestled at Oklahoma State, versus Robbie Lawler. This fight is very hard for me to pick because I'm both a Hendricks fan and I'm a huge Robbie Lawler fan. I'm going to take Lawler in a knockout. This might be surprising, but if people have seen what Lawler's done since he came from Strikeforce to the UFC, Lawler has been a man on a mission, and he wants that title fight. If Lawler doesn't knock out, I could see it possibly being a split or unanimous for Lawler, and possibly setting up a Lawler-Hendricks too, depending on how well this fight's going to be. I love this card almost top to bottom, main card wise. I am very excited, and I hope I see it on Saturday night via me going down the street and watching it, or me watching it at home, computer wise. So that is the UFC segment for this vlog, and now to everybody's back to attention to the madness. My phrase is embrace the madness, and I'm glad I didn't do this last night because I was going to take Villanova winning the Big East. Lo and behold, we've got our start to the madness. Villanova chokes against Seton Hall in the Big East tourney. This I believe will knock Villanova out of the number one seed running. I think this now opens up a big can of worms for the last two number one seeds. Wichita State did take care of business. They are a number one seed. Like I said, like I said in the last vlog, I would have not been surprised. I would have been surprised if Wichita State lost the Missouri West Conference. They didn't. They took care of business. They will be on the one line. Villanova, wow, losing to Seton Hall, that's big. Good for Seton Hall. That's a big win for them. They've gone through some times of tribulations in the last couple of years. They have been very, very up and down. But that's a big win for Seton Hall and just for that school in general. Going to that, I'm gonna be tackling both who I think's gonna win the conference, and then I'm going to tackle the conference as a whole and see how many teams and seeds. I'm going to play the kind of the Joe Lunardi bracketology. I'm going to get the Cheloni crystal ball out and predict. I know I might get some heat for it, but I don't give. So, love it or hate it, I don't care. I'm going to tell you guys what I'm probably going to start with the ACC here first and the second. And you guys could probably already assume who I'm going to roll with in the ACC. I think it's going to come down to Duke and Virginia. I really think whoever wins that game, if it does become Duke and Virginia, I do see them on the one line. Embiid is out for Kansas, and the selection committee has came out and said they are monitoring the Embiid injury. So that might hurt them. And they went toe-to-toe with OK State, who I still think is in the tourney after beating Kansas. Even though losing by 7 today, I still think Oklahoma State is in that. Give me a quick sec. Chrome's being evil. Sorry, guys. I wanted to go back and forth so I could tell you guys, because it's kind of hard going 8 to 10 conferences with the ACC, Big East, Big 10, Big 12, Pac-12, SEC, and the big, whoever else I left out. It's kind of hard when you've got 64 teams or possibly about 30 to 40 teams to predict when you don't have a working browser. And I apologize for that, guys. I know you guys want fluidity and consistency, and I know my internet sucks sometimes, and the Kmart router to the guys who know what I'm talking about. So like I said, I very apologize, but I love this time of the year. It's a great time of the year. I'm very stoked. There we go. Awesome. Okay. We'll be starting off with the ACC. I know there's not a lot of people here in the that are A10 fans. I will also cover the MAC because I am a Western Michigan alumni. So that will be the only one mid-major conference I will tackle. According to Lunardi, he has 5 teams going to the ACC, and as of earlier today, he's got Virginia on the 3 line. I'm surprised that he's got Virginia that low. And he's got Duke. He's got Duke on the 2 line. So I'm a little bit confused on what Lunardi's thinking there. I think that he's got Villanova as a 1. I don't think Villanova's going to be a 1 after the Seton Hall loss today. I really don't. I think that's going to open up who I think might win the Big Ten, or whoever wins the ACC. I said it. The last 2 number 1 seeds I think are wide open, because if Arizona does not take care of business in the Pac-12, I think they will be on the 2 line. If they do take care of business in the Pac-12, I think number one seed will be up for grabs, and I think Arizona will be the 3rd number 1. I like Duke and Virginia, like I said, in the ACC. For some odd reason, I'm still having problems with Chrome, which is, I don't know why. I'm the only one home, so it's kind of crazy. Oh, here we go. Finally wants to load up. The game I'm looking forward to tomorrow is UNC Pitt. That's gonna be a damn good game. I think they might give whoever wins that game might give Virginia fits, but I do like Virginia. Give Mike Bennett credit. And people have not who's Mike Bennett? And he goes, oh, Trelawney might be going Pac-12 on us. Yes, Trelawney's gonna want to go Pac-12 on you. If you guys remember, Klay Thompson played where? Washington State. Coach Mike Bennett, Washington State, comes over to Virginia. He's made Virginia a very good team. I don't think Virginia's a 3. If Virginia, like I said, Virginia wins out this tournament, they could make it the 1 line. If they don't, I could see them as on the 2. I think Virginia will be a 1, maybe, like I said, low 1 if they win, 2 for sure. Virginia is in. UNC and Pitt, whoever loses that game might hurt a little bit, but I still think those 2 are in. Syracuse, I believe, will be a 2 or a 3 seed, depending if they wake up. This is the team Syracuse can help their value if they win the ACC tourney. They could get back on the 1 line. Do I see it coming? No. Not a deep bench. They only play 7. The only thing that's going good for Boeheim right now is that zone defense. That zone defense is god awful. I do not, and teams do not like playing that zone defense at this time of the year. Duke, I think we're going to see a Syracuse Duke rematch again, a 3rd one. I think it's going to be damn good. But like I said, I like Virginia Duke in the ACC finals, and I think whoever wins this game could possibly be on the 1 line. And I think you're going to see. I think the teams you will see I think I agree with Lenardi on the ACC UC5, but Clemson could possibly be making some noise if they can beat Duke tomorrow, but I doubt that's going to happen. I think you'll see Clemson in the NIT as the one seed in NIT. The Big 12. Lenardi has 7. I'm going to see if I agree with Lenardi on 7. Oh my God, please load. Okay. And if you guys don't like Chrome, I will give you guys a browser option. Use Opera. It's very nice. It's less sloggy on your computer. I've learned that quickly. It's a very good system. It's a very good browser, and I like it. And just in case Chrome ever just crashes like it tends to. All right. Like I said, Kansas is being watched very carefully right now. Right now, I like a Kansas-Texas title game, Big 12 wise. I'm not big on Oklahoma, and they're losing right now to Baylor, and that's going to help Baylor get in. I'm not high on West Virginia. I'm not high on Oklahoma. I love Iowa State. If Iowa State beats Kansas tomorrow, they might solidify being a 4 seed, in my opinion. People think going, oh, that's a little high for Iowa State. But if you guys look at Iowa State's non-conference schedule, it was pretty brutal. And they did pretty well. And they have beaten some big teams in the Big 12. I think, and I've said this, you can make a case for the Big 12 being the toughest conference in the nation right now. You could put the Big 10 up there, but the Big 10 has been struggling. The middle of the tier has been struggling. A la Iowa, a la Michigan State, a la Ohio State. Those 3 have been struggling. So you could kind of say right now the Big 12 is a little bit ahead of the Big 10. I am going to go out on a limb and agree with Lunardi and go 7 here. I think the team that you can maybe say they might not get in is West Virginia. So I'll say 6 or 7 for the Big 12. So I'll agree with Lunardi on that. I'm going to save the Big 10 for last because I know we're in Big 10 country, and I know that will make everybody that listens to this a little bit more happier and whatnot. So I will get to. I'm gonna go to my former alumni, the MAC conference. As you guys know, I graduated from Western. I follow Western a little bit, not as much as anymore because I knew some former players on the team that are now transferred. I do follow Xavier a lot because I have a good friend on there that plays for Xavier. I have a good acquaintance of mine who a listener knows, who's seen him play. I compare his game to one of the listeners. Shout out to my boy D. And shout out my big boy Matt Stainbrook. You playing for the Big East now, and I skipped the Big East, and that's my apologies. But like I said, Seton Hall is knocked off Villanova earlier today, and they're playing Providence. With now that being said, I think whoever comes off the bottom tier between Creighton, in my opinion, and Xavier, shout out Mount Sternberg, I think is going to win this. And I love Xavier. I love Stainbrook's game, and he's going to create some fits in the tourney. But to warn you all now, I might take him to the Sweet 16, depending on who they play and where they fall. I love Creighton too. I love Dougie McDermott. Dougie McDermott's a real deal. I think Creighton might be a 3. Seton Hall might be a sneaky 5. Xavier might be a sneaky 5. Watch. I love Xavier. Stainbrook going to lead him. He can put the team on his back. But that's who I think right now. I think whoever wins the Creighton Xavier on that bottom side, I think that will happen. Lunardi has 3 in the Big East, with Villanova going down. I can agree with that. I see see Villanova, I see Creighton, I see Xavier. So far, I'm agreeing with Lenardi on everything. He knows the stuff. He's legit. Little old me doesn't know a whole lot. The MAC's only going to get one, and I think it's going to come down between Western and Toledo. That title game is going to be a dogfight. Western and Toledo have split this year, one apiece. I got to be a homer here. I like Western. Shane Whittington has been a beast the last 5 weeks. The guy's been averaging a double-double. I think over 23 points and about 10 to 11 rebounds. I like Western coming out of the MAC. I think they'll be a 13 or 14 seed. Depending on who they play, they might actually win a game, but we'll wait and see. I doubt it, but I give credit to Hawkins. I don't see eye to eye with him with some of the former players that I know. But I'm not gonna get into that because I don't like playing favorites and whatnot. All right, I'm gonna go to the Pac-12. Yes, my Huskies are out. We're young. I've already said it. I like to see them in the NIT. I doubt it. But Stanford got a big win yesterday. Stanford to me is on a bubble still, but they haven't played so hot. They're 3 out of 4. I think they still need to beat Arizona State tonight to possibly get in. UCLA, Oregon, I think is going to be a great game. Arizona's already taken care of business, like I said. I like another Arizona State barn burner. That's who I'm taking. I like Arizona winning this bracket. I think Arizona's going to play hot. Arizona's going to get it together. I think they'll be the third number 1 seed in the pack coming out of the Pac-12. I don't like Arizona in the tourney, though. I've got them probably at the Sweet 16 line right now, but all depends on what happens Sunday. Can't wait. 3 days, ladies and gentlemen. 3 days. But Lunardi has 6 coming out of the Pac-12. It's kind of tough. It could possibly be 7 with the Villanova getting bounced today, but that could be also another bubble burst. So I don't see Stanford. I see Oregon. Oregon's done more. Oregon has more impressive wins than Stanford. I'll take Oregon over Stanford. I do see 6 with Lunardi, but we're still early in this crazy weekend. So we'll wait and see. I think the Pac-12 may be only getting 5, depending if more bubbles burst. We're going to the SEC, and then I'm going to the Big Ten, and then I'm going to end this show. So probably going to be about a 35-minute show tonight. I'm surprised I didn't go longer, which is kind of crazy. Me loving the madness. I think Florida's going to freight train this tourney. I like Florida in the finals. I'm going to say it right now. I don't know who they're going to play because the SEC is so weak in the conference finals. Florida will, in my opinion, will be the overall number 1 seed without a shadow of a doubt. Lunardi has 4 going in, and I will agree with Lunardi on 4. I could see possibly 3. I don't know how good Georgia is. That's the kicker. I see Florida. I can see a Florida-Kentucky SEC final. I can see. I don't know about 3 or 4. I got to double check. Did he say 3 for the SEC? He said 4. I'm going to disagree with Lunardi. I don't know how good Georgia is. Georgia loses to Mississippi. Marshall Henderson, look out. Even though I do not like Marshall Henderson at all. But we'll wait and see if it makes the NBA. I think 3's coming out. I like Tennessee, Florida, and Kentucky to come out of the SEC because, like I said, I think some bubbles are going to start bursting because it's the madness. You got to balance the madness out. We'll wait and see. All right, I'm going to now get to the Pac-10, the Big Ten, because I know going 2020. What about the Big Ten? What about the Big Ten? What are your thoughts on? Actually, there's one topic before I cover the Big Ten because it was a Michigan question. Shout out my boy Ice. Shoots better than Mark Price. Got your Ice. He asked me a very, 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 very good question. He goes, "What are my thoughts on who do you think's coming out or staying at Michigan? He goes, what do you think Stoskis is going to do? What do you think McGarry's going to do? What do you think Robinson's going to do? Ice, you're going to love me. I think all three are staying. And I'm going to say this right now. Stoskis' stock is probably the highest right now, but it's a loaded draft. Come back, Nick. Come back, play another year. Solidify a lottery pick, which I think Stoskis might probably will. McGarry, he got hurt. I don't know. I don't think his stock is that good now. He should have came out last year. His stock would have been probably a lottery pick. Stoskis being hurt this year, McGarry being hurt this year, I think that hurts McGarry's stock. I think McGarry will come back because with how deep this draft is, and I've already came out and said it's probably the best draft, in my opinion, since the LeBron draft. I think Glenn Robinson stays again because Glenn Robinson's stock has also dropped, in my opinion. I think all three stay for another year. Now leading to the Big Ten tourney. I'm going to say this right now. I think it's going to be the top two seeds. I know people are saying, Chaloni, you're going to two top-heavy favorite in some of these tourneys, but I didn't in a couple. But with just the way Michigan State has played, the way Ohio State played, and Ohio State barely beat Purdue today, ladies and gentlemen, I think Nebraska's going to get them. I think Nebraska will solidify their tournament chance, their tournament getting in tomorrow by beating Ohio State. If I'm wrong, oh well, but I think Nebraska's in. Beating Wisconsin at home on Sunday was the nail in the coffin to get Nebraska into the tourney. I think you'll see a Michigan-Wisconsin final. I don't think we're going to see another Michigan State. I don't think we'll see Michigan State round 3. Even though whoever wins between Michigan State and Iowa will be an interesting game for Wisconsin. I think Wisconsin's playing hot at the right time. Michigan State has limped in going into the Big Ten tourney. You can't win 4 out of your last 11. I think if those numbers are correct, people will tell me if they are or not. I like Wisconsin, Michigan, and I really do think whoever wins this game, if this happens, if it comes down to Michigan and Wisconsin, which I think Michigan will win in a slugfest, and I think it will be maybe a 4 to 6 point win for Mich. I think Mich will be on the one line with all the craziness that has happened. Like I said, whoever wins the Big Ten or the Big 12 or the ACC, if it's the top two, if it's the top seeds in those conferences, the committee's going to have a very, 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 very tough choice. Like I said, I don't know about Kansas. Embiid being hurt, I think that might put them on the 2 line, but if they do win the Big 12, I think Kansas could be the 1. But we'll wait and see. The ACC, that might solidify it too, but it's like I said, it's the madness. Like I said, I think the best chance right now for that 4th and number 1 is going to come out of the Big Ten if it comes to business as usual between Michigan and Wisconsin. I think Michigan could be a very scary 1 seed depending on who they get in on that bracket. Like I said, it's a wishy-washy team. I kicking myself last year. It's not the flashy team with Trey Burke last year, but I think this is a very more well-rounded team this year with Michigan. In my opinion, I think it's a little bit more deeper, but we'll wait and see what Michigan can do in the tourney. Right now, I got them on the Sweet 16 level, but we'll wait and see. All right, I'm spent. 3 days, ladies and gentlemen. Embrace the madness. It's here. We're here. I'm out. Everyone have a good weekend. Be safe. Be careful. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. 3 days till the tourney. March Madness. Get ready. Embrace it. We're here. Later.